Heyo folks, today I'm going to be ranting, about something that I've noticed happening a lot lately. It's been going on for years, don't get me wrong, but there's a new form of it that I'm watching in real time, and it's a bit odd to me. I've been noticing the perversion of the English language more and more as time has gone on, and it seems to be growing quicker. Now, before you say anything, yes, I know that languages evolve constantly. You will have new words created all the time. See dank as an example. Or you will have new meanings to words that had already previously established meanings. I'll give gay as an example. If you compared the definition of gay from 1900 to 2000, they would be vastly different. The key here is that is typically done as something of a consensus of society, understanding that the word has evolved or a new word is created. They understand the meaning. The majority of people use this new meaning. They understand this new meaning. It has become common lexicon under this new word or new meaning entirely. That is not the case here. I have seen several different times where a new meaning for an already established word has been pushed as it were accepted, even though only the people saying it as such have accepted it. But they also push the point that their definition is the clear and correct definition, and if you disagree with that, you are wrong. A previous example that I can think of is, and I have done a video on this already, misogyny. In that I discussed how misogyny, by definition, is the hatred of women. And every time that I have seen it used, or the grand majority of times, I should say, that I have seen it is used inappropriately. It has become something of a substitute for sexist, if that. And it is used completely out of place and in the wrong way, yet it continues to this day to be used as such. So that we, or at least I, have seen the word everywhere, and it is generally used in what would be defined by the dictionary as the wrong way. The word that I have seen used very incorrectly in the past week or 2 weeks, violence. You might be thinking, how is that possible? Well, first, let me give you the dictionary definition of violence, and then I will explain the method with which it has been used as of late. This is from Merriam-Webster, by the way. This is about as clear-cut a definition as you can give, and I will give the 3 main definitions so that there is no confusion, or there is a clear understanding of how it is presented. 1. Exertion of physical force so as to injure or abuse. 2. Injury by or as if by distortion, infringement, or profanation. 3. Intense, turbulent, or furious and often destructive action or force. If you were listening, you may have noticed a pattern between all 3 of those. There needs to be some form of injury or force, action, act, for it to be considered violence. Now, allow me to go into how it is being used by bringing up an example that will be happening here in the next couple days. At the UN, there will be a speech given about the dangers of, and I'm quoting, cyber violence. I'll let that sink in for a minute. Cyber violence. You might be thinking, oh, that must mean like in a video game or in a work of fiction online or something. No. The way it's meant, and I have seen this meaning also used in at least a dozen different publications in the last couple weeks alone. The way it is meant is person A says something online. Person B has had violence committed against them. You can probably see the problem with this. By every definition, in order for anything to be considered violence, some form of action has to be done. But sending someone a message online is an action. At that point, you are sending a threat of violence. You have not committed an act of violence. There is a clear difference in the two, but lately they seem to have been kind of conflated together, jumbled up to create an entirely new meaning for an already established term. If the society at large were to accept this, and this became the new standard understanding of the word, as I stated earlier, that would be different. But it is not. It is stated as such when the only people who seem to think that this is the actual definition are these journalists, these people, this specific small group. But they are saying it as if it is fact, when it is not. It is, as of now, a perversion of the English language. What comes of the future, I don't know. No one can know. It's the future. But as of now, they are completely using the term wrong, but asserting it as if it was correct, and asserting it as if it was fact. Push for change in the language. Push for a new acceptance of the term. Be my guest. Don't state it as fact in the here and now, when it is not. And I bring this up because this is something that, to most people, sounds believable, sounds accurate. It's one of those things that most people wouldn't think about. It would just come off as, oh, okay, that sounds about right. They wouldn't stop and think about it. I would love to just take a moment and talk about how we could change terms, or how it might be better to have different definitions, or more specific definitions, because, like I said, language evolves, but that is not the case here. I don't like it when people force something to be accepted as a change because they want it that way. It should be talked about and come from time, not be pushed as the new norm. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, this has been Math Machine ranting, about the weird changes in language I've been noticing. Peace out.